Hi team, Uwe Jacobs, property friends, property strategist. Well, there's another sequence or installment of the musings of a road warrior. A lot of people are thinking that I'm having nice holidays when I travel, and nothing could be further from the truth. So just a quick roundup of what happened yesterday. Met with two developers, met with a builder, and did a few other discussions, things that need to be done in between. And one interesting thing is that I had quite in-depth discussions about, and as you can see, I'm not in the hotel, I'm in the office of First National Real Estate. I had in-depth discussions about a put and call agreement and contract conditions of one of the development sites where we're looking to take 3 to 5 lots. Now that is the difference between Property Friends and other companies. One, I've got 25 years of contract experience, contract management experience. I know what I'm looking at. I'm by no means a legal eagle. So, good morning. Ulla, you're logged on as Property Friends. My wife is here. That's always good. Yeah, by the way, I can see the comments. So if you've got any questions, any issues that you want to ask, feel free to put them in the Facebook comments. And as far as possible, I will answer them. Yeah, so going back, 25 years of contract experience, contract handling experience. I'm by no means a lawyer. So whatever you do, don't believe a thing I say. Just check with your own advisors. However, having said that, we went through the put and call agreement and through the contract conditions. And there were a few things which I, let's say, didn't understand, didn't agree with. And I only sign documents when I understand them. Now, making changes to contract conditions is very, very challenging when you're a lonesome ranger and a single buyer. And that is the difference with Property Friends. By being able to muster up wholesale buying power, by being able to negotiate on sets of deals of, let's say, 5 or 10, we are able to get the ear of the developers, get the ear of the builders, and create what I call a fair contract. I don't believe in pushing all the obligations onto the weaker party. And I'm not saying that the developer or the builder are the weaker party. Normally the buyer is the weaker party. But you've got Buckley's as a single purchaser to negotiate contract conditions. Now, my favorite topic, or my favorite example rather, on that is none of the Australian standard building contracts allow you to force the builder to finish the job off completely and do the payment once the rectification work on the takeover inspection is done. So what that means is that you are forced to make the final payment, if I'm devious, before the lawns are done, before the fences are done, and so on and so forth. We do that differently. We put a special condition into the contract that says words to the effect, we are entitled to employ the services of a qualified building inspector. What that does, one, it puts an intermediary between the buyer and the seller, so we're not arguing. We've got an independent third party that makes a judgment call whether the quality is good or not, whether something needs to be fixed up or not. And here comes the point, brothers and sisters, the clause also says that the final payment will only be done when rectification work is done. I want the job done properly. I want the job done well. And that means that the little PowerPoint that hangs loose in the wall, or the washer in the shower that is not working 100%, the little niggly things that usually upset people are done. Okay, so much to that. Very quickly, what's happening today? Meeting with one builder, two developers, half a day only. because the other half a day I will use to run around and check out the lots that I uncovered yesterday. Another very perfect example, Cairns at the moment is a very tight market in regard to land supply. Now, this is a difference when you are established in the market and when you have leverage and when you know the people. You got to know who is who in the zoo. Only that way you can cut out the best of deals. So I found 3 blocks, 3 pieces of land yesterday that are off market, that nobody knows about, and we've tied them up. I will check them out this afternoon and make sure that everything is hunky-dory. And then I will put a design on there, a custom design that works with the block, that works with everything. And we've got some really sneaky, what are they? Sneaky designs that will up the rental yield tremendously. I'm thinking 6 to 7%. Now, put on top of that, what I expect to be good capital growth in Cairns, and the jury is out on that, that would have to be a good deal. Now, I've chatted enough. What I would like to do is, rather than listening to me talking about the Cairns market, I'd like to invite David Forrest. He's the director of First National Cairns Central and Cairns Beaches, and the national director of First National, of the board. David, you better explain who you are and what you're doing.
I think you did that very well, Worrier, and thank you very much for inviting me here today. It's a pleasure to be with you again. I know we've been on the airwaves a few times together, yep. And this is another one that I hope we can bring some good information to everybody. I know Worrier really is keen to make sure that everyone understands that he's working up here. The truth of it, this afternoon we were actually playing golf.
You weren't allowed to say that. Come on.
No, we're not playing golf. I don't even think you play golf.
No, I don't. Hell of a way to spoil a good ball.
I'm supposed to be playing golf this afternoon. Unfortunately, it looks like it's raining, and it's about driving to work this morning at 6:30. It was I think it was 29 degrees and 91% humidity here. So Worrier's definitely working a sweat up here. I can tell you that now. In terms of the marketplace, look, Cairns over. Firstly, I'll talk about the property management and rental aspects. Over the last probably 5 years or so, we've had a very, very strong rental market. And oddly enough, through last year, with the COVID effects, we were only affected to the point of about 3% of our rent roll. And that was a hell of a lot better than what we were expecting. We were expecting carnage, being part of a tourism economy, if you want to put it that way. We're expecting a lot of people to have trouble with their rents, but that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And what happened is that, honestly, we've had under 1% vacancy rate now for well over a year. And we're getting multiple applications for properties. We're seeing rent increases slightly, especially for housing. The only thing that was really sort of significantly affected were furnished apartments. And that makes sense because that sort of marketplace was fulfilled usually by people moving into Cairns to complete contracts, do jobs like be a foreman of a building site and then head back to Sydney or Melbourne or something. So that wasn't happening. So therefore, that market was particularly affected. So to sum it up, our rental market has been very strong in terms of renting out properties, rent arrears, and vacancy rates.
And I have to admit, David, I was really worried about that. Same with lots of our team. When we did the briefing sessions back when COVID started,
yeah,
that was the big comment, especially about Cairns, it being so reliant on the tourism industry. Is the bottom going to fall out of the market? And I have to give credit to your people as well, and yourself, of course. Any applications for rent reductions were really handled well. Do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, look, thanks for bringing that up. It's a good point. And, I must say that our team handled it very well, and I'm very, very proud of them. most people out there were doing the right thing, but there were people that were trying things on, and were not actually affected by COVID, and were claiming, that they were. And it was a matter of respectfully trying to assess whether the situation was a COVID situation, and in most instances we sorted that out pretty quickly, and everyone was able to move on pretty quickly as well. So thanks for bringing that up. In terms of sales, Cairns, obviously, as most people have been following, has been pretty flat for probably the last 5 years. And what we saw towards the end of last year was real light at the end of the tunnel. And the figures that are through so far, which really are only to sort of the end of September, October, September probably, are showing us that there was an increase in volume. And considering that the volume had been decreasing pretty much every year since 2015, that was a hugely encouraging sign. And we've seen a fraction or slight increase in median house prices, which is fantastic. Now, to add to that, the anecdotal evidence that we're also seeing that we believe in the last 2 months of last year, as the figures aren't out yet, the anecdotal evidence would indicate to us that the volume is continuing, that the market has switched a bit from being a buyer's market to being a bit more of a seller's market. We've got a shortage of stock now, and we've got good interest in property, and we believe that the median price of houses has increased a little bit more. Talking about units, it's a little bit harder. It's a more difficult market to analyse. The figures that came through last year actually showed us that the median unit prices had dropped just a little bit more. But I really do see driving around Cairns almost every unit with a sold or under contract sign, and I think we'll probably find that they're sort of steady as you go, and the volume of sales has probably increased a little bit.
Can I just say something to that? And I'm going to stick my neck out here, which I often do. So don't take this as advice. The usual disclaimer, this is just my personal opinion. I think we will see the Cairns pricing, the median price go up. One reason for that is simply that there are more new properties coming into the market. Now, the median price, for anyone that is not clear about it, is just that. It's the middle price of the range. So if you have more expensive properties being sold, that moves the median price up. Now, it is possible in smaller markets or in suburbs where, for example, we had in Tasmania the instance where there is 3 large developments in a fairly established, one can even say, underprivileged area that is going on. There's Siri going. How come I trigger your Siri?
I don't know.
Well, let me just make a bank transfer to my account.
Siri, bark like a dog.
Didn't work. Didn't work. Okay. So it is possible to move a market through a lot of new stock. Just wanted to feed that in. Yeah, but there is, I would expect some capital growth on top of what I see, especially, and this is what I love about Cairns. The rental income has moved, if anything, only very, very slightly down. Other markets, the bottom fell out of the rental income.
Yeah, look, I think we've actually seen an increase in rental income. And,
for sure.
The other part of the market that I didn't speak about was the new homes and land market. And as Uber said, there is a shortage of land. The land towards the last 2 quarters of last year just went ballistic. Blocks of land were selling, and it was motivated by the government incentive packages, the combined packages being very attractive. And there's now, if you have a look, the building approvals are starting to pick up in town, and we expect that market to be strong.
Yeah, okay, we've passed the 14-minute mark. I try to keep these things brief and succinct. I talk too much, sorry about that. Just we both love what we do, so I certainly get carried away. On that note, get carried away, have some fun. I think it's a heck of a time to take an opportunity. What does Warren Buffett say? When others are fearful, be greedy. Now, I'm not suggesting to be greedy, I'm suggesting to be diligent in doing your research. On that note, have fun, enjoy, and make it a good day.